Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to something really, really special, because Kassem is sitting next to me in person. In person, we are really sitting here together. Chat.
It's sure it's not AI?
It's not AI, I'm quite sure. Last time I looked, it's not. Yeah, it's amazing, right? You are here for quite some days. We already met in London, now you're coming to Disseldorf.
So yeah, I come to London for 7 days. We'll talk about that in a little while, why I came. But then I thought, well, hey man, you know, I'm so close. I invited Michael to come to London. He came, and then I spent 3 days here, and then we're going to go to Haarlem, Netherlands, or in Amsterdam to end the 2 weeks with the Making Vinyl conference in Haarlem. So anyway, yeah, it's
yeah, the timing was perfect. You know, a couple of weeks after now, I finished my record store, the vinyl room, so I can present that to you too. And another special thing that happens, I got a delivery from you today, which was 2 days earlier than expected. And in this video, we get into the records that came today, that are in stock right now. And also Chad has prepared some records. He shares some insights and valuable informations with us. And let's get into the new stuff and get through it briefly. Chad, an SACD. We never talked together about SACDs, but today the SACD of Genesis Foxtrot came. And in my shop, it's the best-selling SACD ever, by far. This one is so popular, I was really, really surprised. And also at your place, it was sold out briefly, right?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like one of the top 3 sellers, you know. Yeah. I mean, if it wouldn't be for the 2 new Hendrix UHQRs, it would probably be the #1 seller.
Imagine that, an SACD, right?
Yeah. It would be the #1 seller, but you know, of course, the Hendrix UHQRs, the news of that is just, I mean, those are selling, especially because they know the mono is very limited, so that one is just...
especially after after we all know those have been the first UHQRs, the 33s, right?
Oh yeah.
So long gone and very valuable by now, and now you have another chance to get them.
Right. So there we did only 1,500 monos, and those sold out immediately. Those going like for $600-700, and then we did 5,030 of the 33 stereo, and those sold out right away.
Right away.
All the people that didn't get to get them the first time, and so yeah, I think they...
One question for the SACD, and then we close that chapter. Do you listen privately to SACDs every now and then, or you're strictly vinyl? You listen to SACDs?
Want me to tell you the truth or lie? No.
Lie. No, tell the truth.
I mean, not really. I don't really listen to SACDs much. I mean, when I do, they have that extra like warm sound to me. It's closer to vinyl. If I would listen to digital, it would be SACD, and I do listen to it to you know, listen to the outcome. I like it, and if I was gonna be outside, you know, like barbecuing or outside listening, or kind of maybe you know, organizing something in the house, I would put an SACD on, you know, instead of a record.
For convenience
right.
reason.
But typically, man, when I'm listening, to me, the side of an album is just a perfect amount of time. You can give your whole body, you can give your whole mind to 22 minutes, you know, and just and it pulls you into the record, and you just give yourself to the music for 22 minutes. And so that's usually what I do, is just listen to the vinyl.
Same here, by the way.
But I mean, if I was going to listen to digital, it would be SACD, because it has that nice sound, that smooth, inviting sound that vinyl does. So yeah, but I mean, to talk a little bit more about Genesis, I just cannot believe how well the Genesis are doing, how well they sell. I mean, they totally blew me away.
Totally. I think Genesis, and yes, how they sell unbelievable.
Well, I
right?
mean, you know, the Yes, they sold what I expected, maybe a little bit better. But
the Genesis were a little surprised to you?
yeah, because it's not something I really grew up listening to. I didn't really know the records that well, but you know, I used the parts that Mike Hobson used when he cut from the original parts with Bernie Grundman, like in 2000. And everybody just says they killed. There's no record of it. There's no release that even comes close.
No doubt about that.
And it's just unbelievable. I mean, even the, you know, the Sell in England by the Pound and The Lamb Lies Down, they, even the one, it's $120 for The Lamb Lies Down, and it sells like it's a $10 record.
Yeah.
And it's like, we just have to keep, you know, reordering, and I mean...
It's difficult to keep them in stock, right?
Well, I mean, you know, we try our best, and we do a pretty good job, but yeah, and then the sales of the SACD, you know. But what's funny is, you know, people are like, why did the SACD...
Exactly. I know what you're saying. Go ahead, sorry.
Come out before the record.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things that people don't understand, and you know, I don't really have time to... We're doing these as fast as we can.
And you are faster than announced, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, we said we'd do
62?
Yeah, we've done 62 out of the 75 on vinyl.
Yeah.
I know the essays are way behind. There's so many reasons why that happens as well. It's, you know, the pressing plant of the SACDs, they were shut down for 2 or 3 months during the summer.
Okay.
I mean, that messed us up a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of excuses, there's a lots of reasons, you know, and we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, I mean 62 releases after that short period of time. I mean, 62 releases is the output. When I started to get into audiophile vinyl, that's the output of 8 years. Remember,
well,
in the old days.
We would try to do 25 a year in 3 years. Now we've done 62 in a little more than 2 years.
Exactly.
So we'll do the 75 in the 3 years, but it's amazing to read. Like, I have to stay off the comments, you know.
No, but on the other hand, Chet, it shows that people can't wait to come out.
Yeah, they can't wait for it to come out, which is a good thing.
Exactly.
Of course, you know, whereas Deja Vu, there's a lot of reasons, and I can't really, there's, you know, it's not as easy as people think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In fact, like the Deja Vu jacket, that jacket alone is going to be over $7. It's
I can imagine. It's this leathery like.
That comes from Europe. We have to get that. You can't even just get that material.
It comes from Europe. Okay, interesting.
There's so many things that people don't understand.
Yeah, but if if you do it right, I'm more than willing to wait a few weeks more.
And most of my customers feel like that way. But you know, some people want it cheap, fast, and quality.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you can only get 2.
Exactly.
You can't get all 3.
Exactly.
And so
it's like with the mastering process, right? You cannot have it all.
It's almost anything in life.
Yeah, true.
It's price, quickness, and quality. Which 2 do you want?
Or which one don't you want to have?
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of our customers say, hey man, we love your records. If it takes a little longer to do, you know, we're doing a record right now that people are going to shit when they hear about which record. And I'm not going to mention it now, but we recut it 10 times.
10 times?
10 times.
Wow. Wow.
It took us over a year longer to do it than we had agreed to the label.
Wow.
And they're like, when are you gonna? I said, man, I gotta cut it one more time, you know, like. And so we're finally happy, and we're finally gonna make the announcement before the end of the year of this particular series. But you know, we're doing 80 titles a year for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
What other label is doing that? Tell me. If there's one, tell me.
No other label. Plus, I always say that on my channel, not always, but when it makes sense, I say that when I started to collect audiophile vinyl, I was happy with 1 release per month. That was special. A record that came, that was something very, very special. We've waited years for some titles to come. We heard, oh, it's rumored or it's even announced, but then it took so long. This is paradise nowadays.
So that's 6.5 titles a month. You know, back in the old days, if I did 6 in a year,
yeah,
you know, and it's 6.5 a month for 3 years. And
you're not counting the acoustic sound series.
No,
you're not counting those.
No, I'm not
right?
even counting the acoustic sound series, the Verve acoustic sound series, the contemporary acoustic sound series, the Bluesville acoustic sound series, and the new up-and-coming Chess acoustic sound series. Not even counting those. And so, you know, I'm human. I read the comments, but you know, it's just so interesting that. But you know, most of our great customers are very happy, and the happy people aren't really making the comments. But when you read, you know, and we'll call those the silent ones.
Exactly, that's what I want to say. It's all about the silent ones.
They're the ones that are keeping us in business. You
exactly,
know?
It's all about the silent ones.
But I learned a little bit, like, you know, no matter how good you do, there is some criticism that's constructive criticism.
Of course.
And I learned, and I need to remember that they're just excited. They just want deja vu. They don't know what's behind the scenes, and I really can't tell everything.
Something you just can't, right?
Well, I could, but
then you wouldn't do the déjà vu, maybe.
It would be the last title I ever got from that company if I told every.
Of course.
These things take a long time. There's a big announcement we're going to make soon, huge. Not even the one another one. We had gotten the rights. The manager and the band and the label, they agreed 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were agreed 3 years ago. And I'm just getting the paperwork now.
It's crazy, right? How long some things
you know,
takes,
but they say though, nothing good comes easy. You know, you have to wait.
And that has never changed from day one, right? Those things took
but
always that long.
But a lot, almost in life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't snap my fingers and be like, all right. You know, just the pressing the record itself takes a long time. I mean, we got to get the deal. Sometimes it takes 3 years. To master, that takes a long time. Then I have to really like it. Then we have to approve the test pressing. Then we have to do the artwork. Then we got to wait for the label to approve the artwork. Then we got to wait 6 to 8 weeks for the jacket.
Yeah.
And so
the jackets are quite often the bottleneck. Or
yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong.
Right now, well, when COVID was happening, it was the jackets and the pressing. Now it's the jackets. There's nothing I can do about that. And we want the highest quality. Plus, we're having to schedule this and keep it flowing. And I've been quite pleased and proud of 62 in a little over, you know, 2 years. And the label's quite pleased. In fact, they want to keep doing, No, there's, believe me,
76, 77, 78?
Oh, man, look, they got so many things. Yeah. That are around the corner, and there's so many things that before the end of the year I'm going to announce.
Cool, can't wait for those.
Before the end of the year that I'm going to announce. But then I hesitate to announce them because then it.
Where is it? Where is it?
Tomorrow.
Chet, stand up. Are you sleeping?
Yeah. People say, why don't you make? I said we do everything in Salina but make the jackets. Mm-hmm. And then am I saying, they go, why don't you make the jackets? I said, well, we own a printing company. We could. I said, well, I got to go to sleep sometime at night.
Exactly. So starting to glue the jackets might be something you should.
Well, you know, everything is very hard. It's so much harder than you think. Even though we have the printing equipment, you know, I'm just not ready.
Now that we talked about this wonderful series, let me briefly show 3 records that are fresh coming in, and then we get back to the series. So what we have here, and they are still sealed, I haven't listened to them because they came a couple of hours ago, and of course I'm not sitting and said, Chad, please wait over there, I have to listen to 3 records now. So I just show them, they are in the stock right now. First is Les McCann and Eddie Harris. The second one, is it the last one that's, are the Bad Companies done now?
It might be.
It might be the last one, right? So the Bad Company, Desolation Angels, and last but for sure not least, Aretha Franklin, the soul queen, which was really tough to get. Those take very long.
Yeah, the Aretha, which we're really so happy to have, and that record right there, I mean, it's just fantastic.
It's killer.
Oh yeah, it's so raw, so much emotion, and such good songs. I mean, you know, I mean, if you call the Queen of Soul, and there's like undisputably.
And I think finally having them in that quality, it was really, in my opinion, I'm not a huge soul guy, but every now and then. And finally we have amazing sounding versions. I didn't listen to that one, but to the one before, and that was brilliantly sounding, fantastic sounding record. So that's very important. I think that she is part of that Atlantic 75 series, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, you know, we didn't announce her in the first batch because we were still working with the, you know, the state to clear it, and it took a little longer than others, and then when we finally announced, but before we announced that we were doing the Aretha Franklin, everybody's like, "You're doing Atlantic, and you're not doing Aretha?
How come?"
Yeah, like, I mean, like, you can't do Atlantic and not do Otis Redding.
Yeah.
You can't do Atlantic and not do Ray Charles.
Yeah.
You can't do Atlantic and not do Aretha. Now, you know, the big one was Zeppelin, but people understand that we weren't able to get that. But they couldn't understand Aretha, and I couldn't understand it either. And, well, we're so happy that, so, yeah, that Eddie Harris, you know, the Swiss movement, that is a great record. I mean, my daughter plays piano in school, and she's in a jazz band, and one of those songs, that she came home and she's playing it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, on the piano.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, I was working on the album, and I hear from the other room, you know, so it's very accessible, very great jazz.
Wonderful, yeah. So the Atlantic 75 in general, correct me again if I'm wrong, that was for me, for an analog production, a huge milestone, also a milestone into opening up to other genres. Is that safe to say? Is that fair to say?
Well, I mean, it's an honor to, you know, be contacted by Craig Cowman, who's one of our best customers, who is a personal friend, and he's the CEO of Atlantic. He buys all of our records, multiple copies, and he's a big collector, big music lover, and a nice friend of mine. To have him call and say, "Hey, Chad, you know, we're working on the Atlantic 75 series, and we have an idea. What do you think about doing an Acoustic Sounds Atlantic 75 version? Well, let's pick 75. Me and him work together. Hey, Craig, I think we ought to do these. And then Craig, hey, we ought to do these. And most of them were the same. And, you know, we did a few, he wanted, we did a few, I wanted. We just worked together on it, you know, picked titles that we thought would make sense.
Were there titles where you said, if I do it, I need those? And they said, if you do it, you need to take those. Has there been a set of titles that were mandatory?
I mean, listen, you know, I sell audiophile records, so I'm going to tend to want to do records that have good sound. And I want to do records that are going to sell. So, you know, there's a lot of important records like Ruth Brown, Professor Longhair, there's a lot of records that I like personally, but sonically aren't the greatest, or I didn't think they would sell.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of there's Ben E. King. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of records that are super good, but sonically, or they might not sell. So you got to consider all kinds of stuff. They might have wanted me to do a few records, and I'm like, listen, man, I'm not going to be able to sell that many, or I don't think it sounds good enough. Now it's just all a compromise, or
Exactly,
you know, you try to work together with a team, with Warner Brothers and Rhino and Craig, you know, I really don't want to do that one because I don't think it'll sell, or, you know, or it doesn't sound that good. So, that's how I do all our records. But, you know, on the Atlantic series, I had to do some records that probably sonically aren't up to the audiophile, like Blow Your Way standard, but I know it sounds better than the original ever sounded.
That's the point.
And
That's the
they're very,
point.
very good.
That's the point.
They're very good, important records to own.
Yeah, see, my personal highlights, and I'm not talking audiophile here or as an only audiophile, I'm talking about the music here. Stone Temple Pilots, seeing them in that, or hearing them in that quality, in that on the 45, because those are very long albums. That was so enlightening and so beautiful. I'm so happy, especially for Stone Temple Pilots. And then here, at least here in Germany, they're amongst the best-selling titles. Was that a surprise to you?
You know, the Stone Temple Pilots, we tried to do more modern stuff. Some of it we couldn't get. That's the other thing, is some things we asked for, you know, they're real famous artists.
Yeah.
There's some things we asked for that we didn't sound that good. There's some things we asked for that we couldn't clear. The Stone Temple Pilots sonically was above average, and the music is good, and we did a really good job on it. And they sold very well, made a lot of people very happy. You know, we did the Matchbox 20 and the Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
They did all right. You know, they've all done all right. I was surprised that John Prine didn't sell better, because I just love that album, and it's a classic.
Yeah, and rightfully so. But John Prine here in Germany, Europe, this is an American artist. So in Europe, he's not that famous, I think.
Yeah.
So sorry for those that, I know him since decades. Of course, a lot of people do, but not in the realm of Genesis.
We didn't sell it nearly. You know, to me, my favorites are always the best sellers. You know, I
Dr. John, huh?
Oh, Dr. John, I just love.
But you know, that's so beautiful to see. When I play here in the vinyl room, Dr. John, and there are people who haven't heard Dr. John yet, everybody said, oh, what is it? What is this? I said, that's Dr. John. I said, show me. So if you listen to Dr. John, a lot of people love it.
Oh, yeah. And his first album, Walking on Gilded Splinters, killer, in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
It's the Meters backing him with Alan Toussaint producing. I mean, it's New Orleans at its finest, man, all three of those albums. And that's where I'm from. You know, I'm from Louisiana.
And that beautiful trifold, right? Killer jacket, killer jacket.
You know, the Atlantic, it was an honor. It's been a pleasure working with the Atlantic team, the Rhino team. We've got a good team. They're a good team. I think they're pleased with me. We're working on some other ideas together.
So that's what I took out of the things you just said. There is a small chance that this series even might get continued. You don't have to comment on that if you don't want to.
There's something good. You know, whenever you do something good, it's like, what else can we do together?
Cool.
And
Cool.
There will be some
because there are still a lot of titles that make sense, right?
Yeah, but And the essays, we're going to try to make up for lost time on essays. But you know, I mean, I own our own pressing plant. We are a vinyl company first. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
We'll try to keep the SACDs alive. I mean, there's two things that I'm trying to do: is keep blues alive and keep vinyl alive. I've been doing that since 1986, trying my best as one man to do those things as best I can.
Yeah.
And the other thing is now, I guess I'm one of the only ones doing SACD, so I'm kind of trying to keep them alive. But man, it's a lot more. It's not as easy as we would like it to be.
From the Atlantic 75, so the huge series in a way, that was huge when you announced it, and now that it's coming, to a smaller but also series, but also a big surprise, the Pablo series. I have two new titles here. It's Benny Carter meets Oscar Peterson. So I try it without the glare. Here you go. And we have Memories of Duke, the Clark Terry 5. So those are the two latest installments in the wonderful Pablo series. This Pablo series is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
People love it, at least here in Europe, they do love it. It's unbelievable, because it's not that everybody said, oh, please, Pablo, 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 since a decade, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that they are coming, people do love them. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's, you know, they're selling so well.
Yeah.
And they just sound so good. I mean, the dynamics and the clarity and the bass of all those Count Basies and the Duke Ellingtons and
It's a fascinating story. I mean, Norman Granz did it. The owner of Worth, after he sold Worth, right, he started Pablo.
Right.
And took all those, I mean, we're not talking 1961 here, we're talking early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah.
And so he took all those giants with him to do more records. And I think when you listen to those records, it's so fascinating when you listen to it, how they just sit there and they know what they are doing and they just start and do it.
Yeah, it seems like on the Pablos, they're more of, you know, live to two-track, you know, jam sessions, you know, where all these old friends, Oscar Peterson, you know, Duke Ellington,
Count Basie, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, it's crazy.
Joe Pass,
exactly.
You know, Dizzy Gillespie.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just the best of the best. I mean, come on.
And at a certain time in their career. So they are late.
Yeah.
It's the late.
Yeah, I mean, they were probably in their 50s. You know what I mean? Which is, I'm 63. You know, they were in the 50s. You know, a lot of the jazz purists, that they were past their prime, or these guys were getting old. These wasn't their best years. The Verve for Ella was their best years, and the whatever. It's like, come on, man. Ella, she was sounding great probably till she took her last breath. I mean, this is all these people did for their whole life.
Never mix up the most successful time of the life with the best of their time. So that's sometimes different.
And plus, they have a different feel and a different recording. You know what I mean? Listen, man. We did 15. They sold very well. There's a reason.
This one's for Blanton, alternate blues, those big four.
Oh, the alternate blues, we just sell. We can't keep it in stock.
It's amazing.
But this one for Blanton, alternate blues. You know, so we wouldn't have did another 15 if it wasn't popular. You know, and so. We're glad people like them, because these were my favorite. You know, I've always loved the Pablos, and you know, a lot of them sound really good, but I'm cherry picking the best to me.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few more I know about. We'll probably end it with this. There's a few more killer titles, but
you probably ended with this turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
the 30. And so, yeah, we're glad people are responding like I hope they would.
Yeah, they did, for sure. Yeah. And then, last title from the new coming records, Humble Pie Smoking, this time the 45 RPM version of this classic.
I mean, you know, Humble Pie was one of the first bands I seen.
Yeah.
I have the 33 here, but I'll show you the cover, which is basically the same. Well, I'll talk about the cover now. This is the anti-scuff resistant cover, so it's a matte finish. It doesn't get your fingerprints, it's not glossy, it's matte. And this is 2-spot UV coatings. So this is like, not only is this the most expensive anti-scuff matte finish, these are 2-spot coatings, you know what I mean? And so this is one of the nicest jackets that we've done. And
for sure.
We also found that they had session photos of this recording.
Where did you find those?
Well, on the internet.
Okay.
But I mean, we found who owned them on the internet.
Yeah.
And then they sent us the high resolution files.
Nice.
And it's the whole band, you know, it's the recording, it's the session photos. And they're very, very good.
Nice.
Very good. And that it's not cheap.
You know, it always reminds me at this wonderful packaging from Apple. It feels so nice when you touch it. When you touch it, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
it's so wonderful.
You have to touch it, feel it, and look at it. But hopefully they can see.
It's Stoughton who does it, right?
Yeah. So this the spot UV coating is just. It's 3D.
Spot UV coding is the term. Okay. Yeah, it's amazing. When I got the jacket at the first time, I couldn't believe how beautiful it is.
You know, Humble Pie, I think it was 1973. It was the first concert I ever seen. Wet Willie opened up for him. It was at the Municipal Auditorium in New Orleans, and I was 11. And you know, Steve Marriott, I mean, he is raw. He's something else, man. There's a couple of guys that really sound raw and almost black to me. Steve Marriott, Jimmy Hall from Wet Willie, Mike Finnegan, Tony Joe White, you know, Eddie Hinton. There's, and I know I'm forgetting at least one person that.
At least, or like always, you do, of course.
But those are, to me, you know, Tina Turner, when she met Tony Joe White, couldn't believe he was white. You know. And so I think that, I tell you what, I never cry listening to a CD. I never cry listening to audio on YouTube. If you want to be blown away, watch the YouTube video of Humble Pie doing Black Coffee.
Okay.
And now they do that song on the album Eat It, okay? But it was mixed and it didn't sound that good. Great song, great music. Watch them do it on YouTube.
Okay. There is a video on YouTube and you can, okay, cool.
Oh my God, it's one of the best. If somebody said, show me the best music on YouTube sonically, even sonically, because they're doing it live. I think it was one of the English, maybe like that John Peel BBC or something, or one of those. Oh man, it's so good. Anyway, but the Humble.
You know, when I announced the Humble Pie here in Germany, I do a lot of German streams nowadays on the German channel, and the most experienced record collectors, the more experienced they are, the more excited they got about this release from Humble Pie.
Yeah. Well, it's such a good album. I mean, Hot and Nasty, and 30 Days in the Hole. And it's also a Glenn Johns recording, you know. So, I mean, 30 Days in the Hole, I mean, you talk about, hopefully whoever buys it has some nice speakers that can handle. And I mean, just crank it and just rock, man. You know,
and enjoy, yeah. You put out a few records for us that you want to share some information, some thoughts on. Maybe we take, for starters, we take this one because, in a way, it is something not similar, but in the same area as the Humble Pie.
Well, I mean, it's the Wishbone Ash Argus, and this is another one of the first bands I ever seen.
Cool.
And so this cover is very, very famous for the Hypnosis
jacket.
The company Hypnosis, and it's one of their more famous covers, and it just such a classic. Now the gatefold of this one was only done in the UK or Europe. Okay, so luckily they had the gatefold because we had to make a double out of it, you know. So we were able to use the UK. And then there's like a little UFO. And
that's what I'm happy that you showed. Yeah, you can see it. See, we can make it. But I was never aware of that jacket, of that UFO.
Hidden. Yeah. And then a lot of times when it was reissued, you know, they didn't really. It was like lost.
Yeah.
Because of the detail of it. But I tell you what, this record. You know, another thing that surprised me is how well prog does.
Yeah.
You know, Jethro Tull, Genesis.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
I'm getting deeper and deeper into prog. I like it more and more.
But I mean, to me, Wishbone Ash ought to be way more famous than they are.
For sure.
I mean, and if you want to try one, get this one. They're also going to be touring the U.S.
You know what I don't understand? If you like Yes, if you like Jethro Tull, you for sure like that Wishbone Ash album, right?
I mean, listen, if you like music, you know what I'm saying, you should like it. Okay, but there's a couple things about it. It's the first record we ever did at Abbey Road, and I had Sean McGee cut it. Because the master was here, and like we could have probably forced our hand to getting the master shipped to America, but you know, that we were getting a little pushback. Hey, why don't you take a tape copy, which would have made a really good record. I mean, just listen to the Jethro Tull Benefit. They sent us a tape copy, and Matthew Luthans did an unbelievable job on the. And we're selling that Jethro Tull Benefit. Yeah. But we're like, you know what? Let's try Abbey Road. Let's get the master tape. So they're so unused to using analog tape over there. They were like, well, let's just, you know, we have a high-res file here. I'm like, listen, I fought real hard to get that analog there. I need you to use the analog tape. And I have to say, I was very pleased at how it sounded.
The reaction of the customers when it comes to the Wishbone Ash is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. You know, people are just loving it, selling well, and the sound is just, and the music's so good, and the sound's good, and so we were. He also, Sean McGee mentioned that they had the original notes from when the original was cut. So you know,
important.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to see what they did, and now cut at 45 with a VMS 80 lathe off the master. Having the notes, us plating it and pressing it, we're very, very pleased. So that segues into why I'm in London, or why I'm in Europe, is we came to, you know, we released the first two Marleys, 45s, but I had to recut, not recut, we had to cut the other five. And again, the tapes reside in Europe. And again, I probably could have, forced my hand and got the tape shipped. But I'm like, you know what? You know, we use Bernie Grundman to cut, love him. You know, one of the legends. We use Kevin Gray to cut. We use Chris Bellman to cut at Bernie's. We use Ryan K. Smith. We use our own mastering engineer, Matt Luthens, who's coming along.
And you have the Dark Sax mastering system. All tube, right?
Right.
Wow.
And so we have a team of the best, you know, the best. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of tapes we'd like to work with in London, and we really demand using the masters. And the more I get into this, the more I realize that very few take the steps.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I was lucky to witness some of the mastering at the Abbey Road studios, and yeah, you could always feel that they say, "Oh wow, this guy is serious with everything."
Yeah, so we said, you know what? Let's book a session and let's cut all the five Marleys that we have cut, you know, there. And it wasn't easy to get the time for 7 days in a row because their schedule is different than ours. You know, they don't work every day, so we needed 7 days in a row. So a friend of ours in the music business, I owe a great deal of gratitude. He helped smooth it out. He also watches our videos. He'll know. He actually owns Hypnosis, the cover that makes the that made the the artwork.
Oh, that's amazing.
So anyway, he called them, and he also has a house in London. He does a lot of work with them.
But about the London trip, there will be a lot of more videos and stuff on your channel, on my channel.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of videos.
So much. It was, and I can officially thank you here. That was an unbelievable days at Abbey Road. It was, wow, it was mind-blowing for me.
So I knew I was in Abbey Road. I knew Germany is close to London. I invited Michael to see how the sausage is made. I said, you know, hey, if you want to come down and, you know, help video a little bit and watch the process. And he brought his friend Thomas, who's a big record collector. Is it Thomas Bosch?
Busk. Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
Busk.
Busk. And he was nice, and we worked all day on listening to the absolute masters.
The evenings we do not talk about on video.
Well, shit, we hadn't even got crazy yet.
That's
We're
true.
going to Amsterdam next.
Right,
no,
right.
No. we both married, so we're going to keep it down to the limit. But so we picked a guy named Frank Arkwright.
At Abbey Road.
Right,
yeah.
and what was great about Frank is he's been mastering reggae, big fan of reggae, done a lot of reggae.
Yeah. He even was a couple of times in Jamaica, right?
Yeah, he went to Jamaica. Yeah. We're going to show you pictures of Frank in Jamaica. He was so happy. Now also, we brought Ryan Smith, because Ryan Smith had the cue cards and the notes because Sterling cut all the original Marley.
Okay, one thing when you talk about the notes for the second time, we may need to explain why because I didn't know why the notes are so important, because there are some important things they did for the original, right?
We want to list. We got more videos to come about.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay. Mm-hmm.
we hired Ryan because Ryan worked at Sterling. Sterling did the whole Bob Marley and the whole Cat Stevens because they were both on Atlantic. And so he had the notes. So, and I've never worked with Frank, and I've worked with Ryan. Ryan knows what I like. The one thing about Abbey Road, they were very, very welcoming. to this idea of bringing Ryan with me. They work together well. Ryan and Frank work together well.
Yeah.
Because they're both nice guys, and their ego, they checked their egos at the door. They were happy to, we all three, made suggestions, or what do you think about that? We worked together. So like 3 people, 2 great mastering engineers, the master tapes with the cue card of the notes of the originals. So, people are going, oh, I like the original better. It's like, dude, we had the originals with us. We had the notes of what they did. We know why they did the things we did. And hey, anyways.
When you say compare the UHQR with an original, I did that with at least 150 people at my record store. I played the original of the Exodus, and I played the UHQR of the Exodus. And everybody, and that's the most interesting, also people who never heard an UHQR, yeah? They were there and listened to it, and most of them said, I would not have expected the difference being so big. It's a huge difference in favor of the UHQR. So a lot of people listen to that here on a decent, not special equipment. There is no doubt, if so many people agree with you. Or
no, there's no, I don't even need somebody to tell me, because I can hear it myself. But the thing is there's a lot of different reasons. It's that we demand the master, we book the best mastering engineer, we listen to what they do. If they knock it out of the park the first time, we're happy. If not, we work with them till we're satisfied.
You mentioned it a couple of minutes ago. Sometimes you have to go 10 times. I mean, who does that?
About 30 minutes ago. No. But yeah, if we have to,
see, memory is working.
If we have to, we do. And so it's the master tape, the mastering engineer, us approving it, not released till we're happy. Also, the profile of the part and the vinyl is flat. It doesn't. Most records ride up an incline, which the separation in the groove is not. It's riding. Ours is a flat profile, and then it's the virgin vinyl, the clarity vinyl without the carbon black, and so and then making a limited amount, and then also overseeing in the quality control. So there's a lot of things that go into it. We wanted every level of it to be at the highest level. And so, anyway, so we came to Abbey Road to cut, and we cut them all. And so now, I know it's been a while since we released the first 2. Now we'll start rolling maybe in 2 or 3 months. They'll see. Because we have to wait for the boxes, which take the longest.
The bottleneck again, right?
Yeah, and but we've cut them all. So we had a very good experience with Frank and Ryan. They liked one another. They got along good. We got to meet Miles Scholl and see all the different, the Abbey Road Studio 1. Yeah. The recordings. Yeah. We got to
those famous halls. We have been on in Germany we call it Zebrastreifen, where everybody walks.
Yeah, the crosswalk. The crosswalk. The zebra.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the
Abbey Road.
And I tell you, I know Abbey Road's famous, and I know people like to walk across, but every day for the 7 days we were there was not one day that people weren't posing. And
not always 20 to 50 people all the time.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
I mean, I bet you. If Big Ben is one of London's biggest sightseeing thing,
that's Zebra too.
Right.
I would not have expected that.
No, I didn't expect it.
That wasn't.
And so we, Michael came and got to witness everything, and then we would go out to eat at night for a couple nights. Now I'm in Disseldorf, looking at Michael's new vinyl room. His showroom is really, really nice. Listening to his system at night, and also you know, just seeing everything where he films his famous show. Yeah.
Well, although this is new now, right? Usually I showed you where we have listened to the music. Now this is quite
and
new.
And I also went to his shipping where he ships his records. And also when I did meet Miles Scholl, and I told him that you were just there, he goes, "Oh, welcome back." And I'm like, I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, well, that's what he always says." So there's some famous people that watch you.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah, and tomorrow we will go to making vinyl.
Yeah, there's Michael Fremer's going to be there, and the people that recording the masters that make the master analog tape, all the pressing plants. We're going to get a tour of record industries.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, so we have a whole lot of fun, man.
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
We I want to talk about too another couple of things that we've done recently that's just hot as hell is the contemporary of Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm section. Okay, we've done 2750 of these. We've sold over 2,000 already.
Okay, so coming to an end now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And also the Sonny Rollins Way Out West.
I love this jacket.
Yeah, is that right? So on this one, he's an East Coast jazz guy that comes to the West Coast. So it's Ray Brown and Shelly Manne.
Yeah.
And they start at 3 in the morning. So he's got a West Coast rhythm section with an East Coast jazz player. Unbelievable sound, musically and sonically, and then this one is a West Coast jazz player with the East Coast rhythm section.
Okay.
Right. And then they never played together, didn't rehearse. And this Miles Davis rhythm section, you know, Red Garland, Paul Chambers, Philly Joe Jones. And this is unbelievable.
But this is one of the most important jazz albums in my collection. I so love Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm section.
Well, both of those two are in the top jazz.
And I love also how they play with that ping pong stereo on the Sonny Rollins. You know what I mean? It's so beautiful when they mimic the horses at the beginning.
Well, the thing about early stereo is, you know, they had left, right, and sometimes they're more left, right than in the center. But you know, when you separate the clarity of the audio gets so much better when the same two instruments aren't playing. Like if you have a bunch of instruments,
the presence is unbelievable,
it's
right? Yeah.
And also these jackets are that anti-scuff.
Again,
And also we put the alternate pictures that were from William Claxton, and then John Koenig, the son of of Lester Koenig, the owner, the son wrote new liners. So, you know, they have the original liners, the original back. We have new liners, because these weren't gatefold, from John Koenig, the son. And then we have a photo, same for the Art Pepper. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the booklet we put in here. Is we had John Koenig, the son, write about the history of contemporary. And he had pictures. So here's John and his father. And I just love the labels. See that gold?
Yeah.
Gold and black labels. Yeah. John and his father, John is, Lester Koenig was John's father. So John wrote the history of contemporary. And so their engineer was Roy Dunan, who was one of the best engineers. They recorded people like Ornette Coleman, Ben Webster, Barney Kessel, just so many, Curtis Counts, so many great artists. Shelly Manne played a lot, and so we did and then he did the whole history, and there's his father Lester Koenig with Roy Dunan. Then at the end, we had Bernie, because Bernie got his first job when he moved to LA. Bernie, the mastering engineer, very familiar, so we had to use Bernie to cut this stuff. He was so familiar with the tapes and the label, and that was his first job. So we had Bernie write something. So between John Koenig writing the history, Bernie Grunman writing something, and then the photos and more liner, I mean, we really went all out, you know, and I know people recognize us for doing high quality sonic, you know, doing the best mastering, the best sonic quality. Yeah. And we feel that we get that love and we really appreciate it. But sometimes I feel like all the money we're spending on getting the history written and getting the extra photos and doing the booklets, you know, a lot of people, sometimes they look at it as, I don't know, I just
no, I think, Chad, the UHQR series is getting more and more the series for records, important records, when you want the ultimate version of it. You know, for me, the UHQR are always the ultimate version of a record. And so if there is a nice booklet, more information, those beautiful jackets, that's of course a very, very welcome add-on.
You expect it.
In a way, yes. And I'm happy that you don't overdo it, because sometimes, in my opinion, they even overdo it. And now another slip mat and a T-shirt and a cap. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think you found a very good way of giving extras, but extras that totally make sense.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. There was one particular person that, you know, thought the boxes was too big. You know, and we didn't change the box because of that. It was just, it'd take forever to get those. Those are all handmade.
Yeah, and I explained that in Germany. I said, Chad needs to do that because he's putting out way more titles on UHQR. Yeah. And if he would stick to the old format, he just could not do that many titles.
Right, and you know, so we tried to keep it to look the same, and you know, maybe it was a little big, you know what I mean? Like, we could have made it a little smaller, but anyway, so we thought about everything, considered everything when we remade and tried to make it look the same, and that's really all there wasn't many choices when we thought about it, but we thought the clamshell was the best option, and so you know, what I was going to say is, you know, we really found out just how much people liked the old. And I was told by a few people like yourself that don't change. Yeah. But I at that point,
it's of course it's an extremely tricky thing to change the design in the middle of not middle. You know how I mean middle of a series.
Yeah, of course.
But you had to, due to the fact you keep them coming.
I know. I mean, listen. Sometimes change is hard. Change is difficult, and sometimes you don't want to do it, but there comes a point where there's no choice.
Or in a nutshell, when you put out, the first were the X's, right, the Bose Hendrix, those were the first UHQRs. You didn't expect them to be so many titles. If so, I think you would have chosen a different design from the get-go. When you would have known you're putting out 6 to 7 to 8 UHQRs.
It wasn't apparent on how long that. When you only do one record and it takes a while, you're not thinking of. Yeah. Listen, we got to where we are. You know, there's factors that went into everything, we just do the best we can.
Exactly.
And when it comes to making a box, there's just so many things. A box is a box is a box. There is different ways to make the box, like the clamshell, or what they call the telescoping box, where you open it up.
Yeah.
It's 2 pieces. But now you have 2 pieces. There's so many. But the original UHQR was a telescoping box.
Was it? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, you know, it was successful. And listen, we do our best.
Exactly.
Most people are happy. They're the silent ones.
The silent ones.
And the silent ones buy. All they do is buy, and they're happy.
And they're happy.
Sometimes they comment.
Yeah.
But, you know, but even some of the commenters, it's an interesting thing, you know, but it's hard to watch sometimes. It's hard to take criticism sometimes when you work so hard at something, and you know, a lot of people don't quite understand how much work that goes into this.
As nobody watches this video, I can say, I can be very open, but you are the guy who has 80 positive comments, and then you call me because there's 1 negative. Michael, have you read this? So the vast majority still is extremely positive.
No, I know. I don't think they understand how many steps or how long it takes just to get and I can't just
exactly.
get, you know, any title I want.
But Chet, you know, for the consumer, it's sometimes, it's difficult to see and to understand logically, because they are not into that deep, most of them, how complex, how difficult, how time consuming the whole process
how much it costs.
Yeah, exactly.
How long it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm also working 3 years in advance, 4 years, and sometimes it takes 4 years. And
so what titles will we see in 4 years?
You're gonna find out soon, but not today. But I can tell you,
I had to try.
There's gonna be some that people are gonna be very happy with, you know, very happy. And you know, it's not the Beatles, I'll tell you that. But it's
any other thing is possible.
Yeah.
Chet, thank you so much for doing this.
All right.
Give me 5.
All right, thank you.
Because usually we cannot do that.
No, that is the case.
Thank you so much, and see you on the next one. Probably without Chet Kassem, but we are doing a little more stuff right here.
We're gonna try to do as many videos, interesting videos as we can think of, and anyway, this YouTube, being able to talk to the consumers with the latest and greatest news.
Chet, without YouTube, all this wouldn't have happened.
Well, we wouldn't know each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, we wouldn't know each other without YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, back in the old days, you know, to communicate to your customers, it took months.
Yeah, and now it takes.
Yeah, that fast.
Yeah,
you're gonna put this up today?
I'm gonna put up this today. When I turn off, I just go and start uploading.
You're kidding me?
No.
You're gonna make sure you get my good side?
I'm quite sure. Okay, see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.